Alright, hey guys, this is Mervos TCG, and I'm here to bring you a penguin deck. So this is for winter. I decided I wanted to build a deck and decided that penguins would be the way to go. This was gonna come out before Christmas, but I got busy around Christmas time, so it's coming out now. But yeah, this is my penguin deck, and I'm gonna be showing you guys. So yeah, let's just start right away. So two, the Great Emperor Penguin. So this card is extremely good. Okay, not let me calm down. It's not because it's level 5, you're not able to normal summon it, which sucks. Now they do have a new continuous spell that helps with that. But when you tribute this card, you get to special summon 2 penguin monsters from your deck. And that means you get into any of these two. So it's just a rescue rabbit for any penguin monster, which is really great. Not even negated, and it's not once per turn. So this card is always alive. And it's just, yeah, it's pretty cool if you can get him out. And then with Monster Reborn, you're able to recycle him a lot and get just a whole lot of value out of him. Penguin Squire, this is probably the best new penguin. This guy, when he, if a monster is set on your field, you get to special summon it, and then you can choose to reduce his level by 1 or by 2. This is just because the penguins have a wide range of levels, and they needed a way to just modulate it so that you're always able to synchro into Penguin Brave. And this card is great for that. And then you can target one face-down defense position monster you control, change it to face of defense. And if you do this, the effects are negated unless it's a penguin monster. So this effect is also really good. Because essentially you're able to set with any of your penguins and then special summon him out, modulate his level, and then you can then flip that card, activate its effect. So let's say you set Penguin Soldier, then you can. So if it's your second turn, you don't have to wait for you to manually flip it next turn or for your opponent to attack into it. So yeah, it's a really good penguin card, and it looks pretty cool. So yeah, definitely a 3 up for me. So 3 no penguin. I know some people run 2. I could totally see that, and maybe I'll eventually go to 2. But no penguin is so cool. I really like having just because. Okay, so during either player's turn, when an effect of a penguin monster is activated, you get to special summon this card from your graveyard. So this card is a mandatory effect. So it is like it's an interesting interaction when you're able to summon it. But yeah, and if this card would be returned from if a card would be returned from the field to the hand by the effect of a penguin card, it gets banished instead. So that makes Penguin Soldier infinitely better, and Penguin Ninja, which I'm gonna talk about next, will then banish those 2 spells or traps, which is its flip effect, and then it also has an effect while it's on the field that lets you target one penguin monster you control, change it to face on defense, which is pretty great. So as you can imagine, Penguin Ninja and Penguin Squire have an interesting interaction, as one can flip one up and the other one can flip something down. So typically, if I have Penguin Squire in my hand and I'm not able to set, and I pretty much just like manage to normal summon the Great Emperor Penguin or social summon him, then it's great to just have the Emperor Penguin go into the 2 penguins that go for 1 ninja and then go for 1 other penguin, and then use ninja to set whatever penguin card, what other penguin card I chose. Then that'll trigger Squire. So with Squire, I can special summon it, and then use Squire's effect to flip that card back up in case I want to use it for a synchro. So yeah, it's pretty great. It's pretty great interactions among these cards. Here we have Glacial Beast Polar Penguin, which is the only other tuner, as Penguin Squire is going to be your main one. But this guy's pretty nice too. When he's special summoned, you can target 1 monster on the field that your opponent controls and return it to the hand, and that's pretty great. Usually you're able to get that off when you're special summoning it through like the Emperor Penguin or through the Marinesis. Quite a few ways to go into it, and then the Christian. But yeah, and then 1 cleric. So cleric, I've seen people run 2, maybe even 3 of this. I don't think it's that great. It just, if a penguin monster is sent from your monster zone to the grave by an opponent's card, you can target one of them, discard this card, and if you do a special summon that card back and face on defense, it can be decent in case you need to keep that card. And I wanted to run him, so I just put one of him. 3 Penguin Soldier. I know some people run 2. I think 3 is really great for him, just because Penguin Soldier lets you go into Totally Awesome. It is really good with no penguin, as it's able to banish 2 monsters, which is pretty great. And I just think he's great to have at 3. And I love summoning this monster out the most. And then here we got Puny Penguin. So Puny Penguin is a little awkward, as so its effect is that when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard after being flipped face up, you can target 1 penguin monster in your graveyard, special summon that target in face up attack position or face down defense. So what's cool about that is that with Puny Penguin, if you set it down, you summon Squire. Squire could flip it up, and then you can go for a synchro, and you get to get one of your penguin cards back onto the field. So that's nice. Definitely 2 of. You can. I wouldn't run 3, but 2 has been working perfectly for me, so I would just go with that. Foolish Burial. Get your no penguins in the grave. They're really good, and I just like having them in the grave at all times. Monster Reborn. This card is really good with the Great Emperor Penguin, as it just lets you get. It's essentially a card that lets you get. So if you have Great Emperor Penguin in your grave, it just lets you get 2 penguins from your deck, and their effects are not negated. So that's great. So Pot of Prosperity, 2 of them. This card has helped with the consistency of the deck a lot. I found that without it, I would be having a lot more trouble. And it's just a nice thing to have. Definitely a good search. I wouldn't get the Pot of Extravagance for this, because you don't want to lose like your Braves or anything, or something that you might actually want to use. You want to just burn your extras. So the Prosperity helps. And then 3, Fury of Kairyu-Shin. So Fury of Kairyu-Shin lets you search out Torrential, which is decent in this deck. And then if a water monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card from the graveyard instead. It's just a nice bonus effect. It's just a nice extra thing. Book of Moon, interesting interaction with these cards, because they're obviously flip oriented. But it's also interaction with your opponent. A lot of people aren't like prepared for Book of Moon and underestimate how powerful it is. At 3. And yeah, it can be really annoying for them. I found that a lot of people have struggled a bit against 3 Book of Moon, and I think people have seen that with Flouanderies because of the way it works with that deck too. So yeah, I like having it at 3. It's just another form of interaction with your opponent. Called by the Grave standard. You don't want to deal with hand traps. 3 Water Hazard. This card, if you control no monsters, you can special summon a level 4 lower water monster from your hand, which is great because if you have, let's say you have no penguins, so typically this would be the best scenario if you do have this. You can go like Water Hazard, Water Hazard, special summon no penguin, and then use normal summon your Great Emperor by tributing no penguin. This is assuming you don't have the field spell, of course. Otherwise, you'd go with a different play. Summon the Great Emperor Penguin. Uses the effect, tribute 2, get the no penguin back on the field. And yeah, it's just great. With that, if that's the type of hand you get. Obviously, it becomes dead if you have monsters, but if you have monsters, hopefully you're winning the game. Or at least putting up more of a fight where Water Hazard doesn't become as relevant. But having 3 is just really great for me. 3 Royal Penguin Garden. This card is great because it searches for any penguin card, and it lets you level modulate. So you could just reduce Great Emperor Penguin down to 1, but you do have to discard. Again, discard no penguin. It's just a lot of, you guys can kind of see the pattern where no penguin just seems to be like the perfect pitch card. As it does let you do more plays when it's in the grave. So I like running 3 of it. But yeah, 3 of the field not the field spell, of the continuous spell, which is pretty great there. And then let's see, 3 Imperms. Imperm is nice. You're able to obviously, well, Imperm is just a hand trap, just negate monster effects. And then the 3 Torrential, they're decent. Just wipe the whole board. It's just another form of interaction with your opponent. That could be annoying for them. You obviously need to get the timing of it right, and they'll probably know of it with the Kairishin, but yeah, 3 of it. Trishula, I've been able to go into this card surprisingly like consistently because of the Great Emperor Penguin and other cards that let me special summon the penguins back again. So yeah, I've been able to summon this card a bit, and it's always cool to summon. Just take cards away from your opponent. And then Dragite, Speller Trap, Negate. It's nice. It's nice. I go into it a few times here and there. Penguin Brave is a really cool penguin synchro monster. As he is able to, when he's synchro summon, you can special summon a penguin monster and face down defense. And then when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can flip one of your face down defense water position monsters you control back to face up. So typically I just go for like a penguin soldier or something. And then now every time they activate a monster effect, they're now kind of like worried about me having to bounce two of them back. Or if I do it right and manage to get no penguin also on the board, I just get to banish 2 monsters during your opponent's turn, and that's nice. And then if you happen to have like Penguin Ninja also set for some reason, then you can also use that to pop. Coral Dragon is just a target for the Crystron. Bryonac, I don't go into it often or at all really. So this was one of the cards you could change, but you can just use this to bounce some cards that are annoying. Totally Awesome is really great, or really awesome, I guess would be a fitting. Penguin Soldier is amazing, so it works well with it. And having an Omni in the gate that also takes. It's a good thing that these cards are aquas, or the ones that really matter are aqua. But yeah, so Totally Awesome works extremely well. Marince's Coral Anemone. This card is just a monster reborn that works really well, and lets you continue some of your plays. So area here, the main thing that I like with it, so obviously if your opponent has a water monster, you can take advantage of that and continue some plays. But if not, I probably wouldn't summon it for that. But if this link summon card is destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect while in the monster zone, you can add 1 water monster with 1500 or less defense. So it's pretty cool because it is a search for the Great Emperor Penguin. So I like having that. Crystron Hockey Fibrex. Decent as you're able to search for the Glacial Beast, Polar Penguin, continue some plays, and get the Coral Dragon out. And Miss Starboy, sometimes you don't have enough power to get over some of your opponent's monsters, so Miss Starboy helps with that. 2 of that could be decent. If you want to reduce it by 1, you can do that. Barricade Board, get the Royal Penguin Garden, as it is a continuous spell. Don't go into it often, but it could be decent in case you do need to search out the continuous spell. And here in the side deck, I have some cards that you might want to check out if you are thinking about running this deck, and you can add these in. So Penguin Torpedo is an interesting card. So this card can attack directly, and then when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target 1 level 6 or lower monster your opponent controls to take control of it, but its effects are negated, and it cannot declare an attack. It can't really do anything. And then at the end of the damage step of this card attack, destroy this card. So this card isn't great, really, and I wouldn't really consider doing it. But if you want to like think about testing it out, it is an interesting card that lets you take one of your opponent's monster, and then you can like link it off. It's just something to think about, but don't think about it too much. If you do want to go the Verde Anaconda Dragoon route, you can do that, as you can with any deck, and you can get some pretty insane boards, but I don't think you want to brick that often. And this card, I just think it's more, I just wanted to make a pure penguin deck and see what they could do and stay more in theme. Gungnir, you can, once per turn, you can discard up to 2 cards to the grave, then target the same number of cards your opponent controls, destroy them. You have to discard cards for it, so I don't really use it, but it's an option, so I'm keeping it there. Underclock Taker, another way to get past monsters that you may be struggling to get over, so it's an option. I've seen people run Foolish Burial Goods as a way to drop the Fury of Kairishin to the grave, so you're able to protect one of your monsters, but I don't think it's worth the slot. Penguin Sword, I actually want to see people try to use this more. I don't think it's worth running, but it could be decent just because it gives you the 800 attack boost, and it could actually make this a monster. So it could be decent if you guys want to consider that. But yeah, it just gives it 800 attack, and then when you equip monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can return one card your opponent controls to the hand. The thing is, it doesn't work with no penguin. Otherwise, it would be better. You could just banish cards, but it's restricted to only penguin monsters. So yeah, not as great. And then if a face-up card your opponent control leaves the field by a penguin's card effect, then it's negated until the end of the next turn, which could be decent. But yeah, these are just cards that you guys want to consider if you want to consider them. But yeah, this is my deck profile. I might do test hands for this, or maybe I'll show some duels. It's a pretty cool deck, and I thought this would be appropriate for winter. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.